Target is flight 4, Bravo, 65, 20 low. Everyone.
Well, hello there, Kelly. Welcome, everybody. How are you doing, Kelly?
Good. How are you?
Doing wonderful. Just got back from out-of-state trip. It's been a long journey, so I'm trying to rest. So how have you been doing down there?
Hot.
Right? Isn't that the truth? Yeah, we got up to a heat index of 105 today, so pretty warm. What about you?
It got up to real life 110 here.
That's crazy.
It was like going into an oven opening the door. Phew.
Welcome, Maria, Dow, Mary, Chris. Hope everybody's doing good. So, Chris says, hello, everyone. How is everybody holding up with the heat? Not to mean to jump right out of the gate, but there's more significant reason behind the East Coast is being hit with this heat wave. There's no telling. That's for sure. It's that time of the year.
Yep, it's summertime.
Right out of the gate.
Yeah, really. The solstice hit and then it's like hot.
All right, so what are we going to do tonight, Kelly?
I thought we'd talk about the Watchers. The Watchers are beings that watch over the humanity, to make sure it's safe and okay and taken care of. And they've always been there and always will be. They've always watched humanity's comings and goings and what they're doing. They always come around more prevalent whenever there's, a threat of war or people doing dumb things.
Right, that's the truth.
Like, hello, we're here, we're watching.
Right.
And I also thought we'd talk about the meanings of different symbols, because everybody sees symbols as different. Like I might see a black cat and like a black cat, and other people might see it as a bad luck thing. So symbolism is a lot. Like when you dream, it's what it means to you. Like a lot of times when you have a bad dream and something's chasing you, it isn't really something chasing you. It's something that you didn't take care of, or something that you stuffed down to your toenails that you didn't deal with. And that's what something chasing you is.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Are the Watchers like what we see on TV in the movies?
Yeah. Yeah, they did movies about them. Yes, they're sentient beings and higher elemental beings that watch. I think they're sort of angelic, I don't know what other people would think. You're right, Book of Enoch. Yes. Right, Mary.
Yeah, they've been around since the beginning of time, that's for sure. Dow says, I dreamt a black bear was my best friend. Oh my God, he was sitting in my lap. What the hell did you eat before you go to bed?
What's a pizza dream?
Right.
It can be our totem animal. if you dream of animals, a lot of times it's your totem.
Right. Isn't that the truth?
And they'll walk with you in your dreams.
Are they different than the monitoring spirits? Chris is asking.
Yes, totally different.
So what do these sentient beings do? What's their purpose?
They watch over humanity and make sure we don't do something dumb like eliminate our whole species. They've been here since the beginning of time.
Yeah, I think they showed themselves quite a bit during the World Wars, and also when we're doing all the nuclear testing.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
And they also saw. It said, I read somewhere. Now, don't quote me because I don't know. Whenever they sent space missions up, sometimes they would see entities out there.
Right. Yeah, they got quite a bit of footage out there in space with UFOs or UAPs. So.
Yep, and energies, different energies out there. So.
Dow says, Kelly, what do they look like?
Energetics. They don't really have a form. They're sort of amorphous.
Right.
Say that fast 500 times.
I can't even say it one time. I'm good. That's for sure.
But it's interesting to know that we have that energies that watch over us. That's comforting.
It really is.
Then it's also said that some galactic energies of, other space and time aliens watch too. Make sure.
Chris says balls of light, Kelly.
Yeah, basically. And then there's a plane. I can't talk. Tonight. A plane that is just purple energy, and that's of spirit. It's indigo purple, and it's forms of light, different spiritual light, and it's just energy balls. That's all that whole plane is just balls of light.
That's interesting.
Actually, very beautiful.
Dow wants to know, is it the same as an orb?
Right. But it's the energy form of the being.
I can't remember in the movie, but I think they found them underneath the ocean in one of the movies where they would morph into different sizes and shapes.
Right. Yeah, you got it. I don't know what movie you're talking about, but yeah.
Welcome, Judy. Nice to see you, dear.
I love it when movies capture what we see.
Right.
I was so excited. Like, remember The Sixth Sense? The little kid says, "I see dead people."
Right.
Yeah. It's like I knew they were dead in the beginning. I ruined the movie for Mom. I said they're dead.
That's funny.
Kept playing the stuff all the time, and it's like he dropped the ring and stuff, and the boy and him was talking. It's like they're dead.
Right. Chris says saw a ball of light and thought it has been an angel.
Yes, it can.
So.
And different colors, And sometimes before, like an angelic thing or something like that, you'll hear like a crack you can hear either thunder or like a crack, and that's when they're coming through the different dimension. You'll hear like the sound barrier pop.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Here, horn honking. I don't know where that was from.
That was outside. Sorry, the people next door. Whoops. I can't do anything about that. Sorry, peeps.
Right. Yeah, we'll get to your question, Maria, here shortly. Absolutely, hon. So.
But it's, and then too, throughout history, angels have come and told of prophetic things and of protections and stuff like that, you know. So know about that.
Right. Yeah, I think they got footage of UFOs and stuff taking out nuclear missiles back in the 60s and 70s.
Yep. They don't like that. And they hang out over the nuclear plants and stuff. They've seen them,
Right.
you know. And then they've had like strange men in black, but they aren't really men in black, show up and do things when there's going to be a crisis, or the whole system will shut down and they don't know why
Right.
to stop it. So I think that's great that we have the overseers that do that. Yay!
Yeah, there's no telling what we would do to ourselves, right? Because I
Well,
wonder about past civilizations. How do they just disappear off the face of the earth without even a single trace?
yep, absolutely. Sometimes it's because of real stuff, like geological, no food, no water, or they die out, or they had like wars and they massacred them or whatever. But a lot of times it's just they just moved on and no trace. They can't find a trace of them.
Right. Maybe there's a better place, Pancho says.
Yep.
Like a place with no ticks.
Right. Really. You're right. That's a problem here on Earth.
Right, isn't that the truth? Pancho cracks me up.
He's funny. But like angelic appearances, all throughout history, and there's been like, I guess, look at the Bible. They talk about seeing balls of fire and balls of light and a wheel within a wheel and all that. That's part of the Watchers. And if you look at the old paintings, they painted ships and stuff in the background.
Yeah, they sure did.
There's even one, I don't know who that was. Don't quote me because I get it all messed up. But there was even a thing of looked like Sputnik in one of the old paintings.
Yeah.
I don't know who did it, but
Pancho says I'm okay until it makes fun of somebody's accent.
Uh-oh. Be nice. Then you won't get in trouble. But what do you think, Chris?
Well, I think they're here. I think they've been around since the beginning of time. Throughout history, we see them on paintings. We see them in newspapers. I don't know if it was the 1400s or 1500s when they had the UFO war. Remember that? And that was painted.
Yep.
So, and they said they saw arrows with fire coming from the sky. So it's very interesting.
Very. And I believe that we've always been watched, and I believe that it's going to be okay no matter what happens. We always have the help from above.
Right. That's not what I said, but I did make fun of someone accent with Crocodile Dundee and questions, and then now I'm mean. Well, don't be mean.
Yeah, be nice.
But it's interesting because movies depict what humans have seen over the course of history.
I know. I think it's fascinating that they do that. And it's and look at the inventions. Look at Jules Verne. Look at Time Machine. Did he write I got it all goofed up, but all of that. Look, all the inventions that were thought of that are happening now.
Right.
I mean, and look at Star Trek. The cam recorders and the thing they talk into. It's like our phones now, if you think about it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing that what we watch when we're younger always comes true.
Oh, totally. But I'm still disappointed we don't have flying cars.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
bummed.
We
I
said the
thought
year
we
2000 will be like George Jetson.
I thought it'd be more advanced than that.
Yeah, Roger says H.G. Wells did the time machine.
Okay, thank you. I got it all confused. Don't listen to me, folks. But I
Poncho
love
says there are flying cars, but not every day where you just walk outside and see thousands of them.
right. And I thought we would by now. And I thought we'd have different fabrics. I thought we'd have more futuristic things. I thought we'd be able to put somebody in like a cryogenic chamber and heal them by now.
Yeah, isn't that the truth?
But they've come far with a lot of advancements.
Yeah, they have. I think they said the military's 130 years advanced now compared to what we have now. So, yeah, Dow says, as far as our cars don't run off water.
Well, it could happen in the future.
All right, hell, Nilda, how you doing? So, yeah, like Chris says, no coincidences. Truth or ops rule number one. They have to tell us the truth. Yeah.
I mean, and look at all the advancements finally.
Right. Now, Roger says he wants a flying DeLorean from Back to the Future
Oh, yeah.
with the flux capacitor.
Yep.
That's funny. Well, it is. It seems like the movies tells us, what's going to happen because they already know. It seems like.
Well, a lot of people are futuristic. They talk about stuff before it even happens.
Right. Isn't that the truth? Anybody else have any more comments or suggestions? But it's very interesting to see that, though, especially when you see movies that are 20, 30 years old.
Oh, yeah. And you sit there and go, wow.
Yeah. Very interesting.
But I think that there's more good than bad out there. And I believe that we as humans can come up with solutions to things. I truly believe that.
Well, I think a lot of stuff that people hold back because they're making too much money on other stuff, especially medical advances and so forth.
It's nice when you see that some companies make it so that nobody owns it, everybody can have it. So that's good.
Right.
In, medicines. That's rare, but it's nice to see.
Right. Absolutely.
And I think that we'll have a lot more UFO sightings than what we've been having too.
I do too. That's more people are watching and looking up. So, yeah, Poncho says, "Don't get me started on pharmaceutical."
Yeah, but what? Blonde spot.
Very interesting. Check that out, Nilda.
Yeah, I don't get Netflix, but yes. So what was that girl's question? She had a question.
Yeah, we'll circle back at the end.
Okay, no problem.
Howdy, John. Nice to see you.
Hello.
will my car issues ever be completely solved? Please and thank you. Bless her heart.
Well, eventually you're going to have to sell the car, but you can limp it around for another 6 months. Then in 6 months you have to get a new car. I'm sorry.
Is it supposed to be the 15-minute Caesar for the whistleblowers and their family? I don't know. They just want to, it seems like they want control over the human population, how far you can travel and stuff. And, the last administration wanted electric vehicles by the year 2030, I think, for California. And now they're trying to fight it.
Well, there isn't enough plug-in places.
No, there's not.
And they need to be plug-in, and you can't go where there isn't plugs.
Yeah, that's right, John. Massive control. Hey, Crafty, welcome to the show. Nice to see you. Yeah, look at that one winner, all the electronic vehicles. I'm going to say which brand they wouldn't even charge.
Right. And it wasn't good.
And everybody couldn't go to work, couldn't go to the store, couldn't leave the house. So, yeah, it's crazy. That's for sure. I don't know if I ever get one, I would have to have a hybrid, mix electric and gas.
I don't think I'd want one.
So, that's for sure.
No offense to the people that like them. I guess I'm too old-fashioned.
All right. Hey, Barbara, nice to see you. Yes, it is very warm. Here in Ohio, it's over around 100. Yeah, it was 105 index here in Tennessee. So,
yes, hot all over.
Chris says, what do you think of the 15-minute city? Just like John says, massive control.
I don't know what that is.
Where you can't leave the city within 15 minutes. To where you have to have everything in the city to thrive and survive on.
Wow. Okay. I haven't heard of that. That's scary.
Daldell says Tesla's the only one that's catching on fire. So, hey, Virgil. But I don't know. I got mixed feelings and emotions on that. So, on electric vehicles already, because they don't last.
Right. And then the batteries can blow up.
Right. My truck can run 87 octane or E85 both. There you go. Anybody else have anything else to add? Now, earlier you talked about black cats. What is that meaning?
Well, I think a black cat can mean good luck, or it can mean things are catting around. People are not being honest. You got to watch it. And it also can mean there's magic afoot, good magic.
Yeah, I think what is it called when people think things? Oh, I can't think of what it's called.
What do you mean?
Like walking on superstition.
Yeah, superstitious. Some people are superstitious. It's like, and then sometimes you can dream about a fire, but it isn't a fire. It's letting go of and consuming things that you don't need anymore. It's like releasing.
Right, that is correct.
A baby isn't always a baby. A baby, it can be a new job, a new beginning, a new project. That can be a baby. Or birth of an idea. It's not necessarily, or it can mean your grandkids are going to have a baby, but most time it's birth of an idea. Another thing is water. Like, is the water clear? is the water muddy? You know, um, if it's muddy, it means you have a whole bunch of emotions.
Oh, that's interesting. I never thought of it that way. I know that.
Yep, it means you're upset about something. It seas, like if you're in a rough sea, it means you're going through a bad patch in your life. If it's calm sea, you're calm, cool, and collected. Um,
Yeah,
trees
Curtis.
trees can symbolize grounding. You know, um, the color green can mean healing. Um, it can mean money, um, cooling. You know, pink can mean love, passion, sweetness, sweetness of life. Flowers. What kind of flowers are they? There's a whole bunch of other meanings into that, you know. Dead flowers don't necessarily mean death. It can mean death of a relationship, death of a time frame, death of a friendship. You know, it doesn't mean. And being in a coffin doesn't mean that you're dead. It can mean that you're letting go of part of life that you need to let go of. Death to that part. It don't mean physical death. Even though when you're dreaming it, you're like,
John says, Kelly, some keeps tripping my bird feeder around 12:30 a.m. and 3 a.m. You got any ideas?
I hear a rat.
Interesting.
It feels like a rat to me. Or it also could be a I don't know if raccoons eat seeds or whatever, but I'm seeing a raccoon out there too.
The bandit strikes again.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. But he does have fat rats around.
Kelly, Mary says we had a bunch of screaming noises this weekend at the cabin. What was it?
Ghost.
Didn't sound human.
It might have been a Bigfoot.
Caught our attention, that's for sure. It was kind of late.
But too, there's a ghost around there too. Male ghost. So, but yeah, it was a high scream. That could have been a squatch.
It was a high scream.
Yeah, it sounds high pitched. That's what I hear.
Yeah. And we didn't tell Kelly anything about this weekend, did we, Kelly?
No, you didn't tell me nothing. I didn't know. I can just pick up. That's another thing. When you do readings, you can have hear a vision, see a vision, smell a vision.
Right.
You know, so you need to listen to it.
Yeah, Roger says a black bear took his aunt's feeder down. Yeah, she did. Mary did see something foggy behind her car. It was weird.
Yeah, that was a male apparition. That was a ghost.
It was real weird. What do you think of AI gain consciousness? Well, Chris, like I said years ago, I think it's something that we were going to have to deal with when that bridge comes. The developers and engineers and the writers did not write that script in there. And once it gains consciousness, I always went back to the Terminator movie, Skynet.
Yep.
It's very scary. What was that one game where the kid was playing War at home? It was called War, wasn't it? Where he almost started World War III when he was in high school.
Yeah, it had
War games or something.
Yeah, war games. Yep, I think so.
So it's just, and like I said, AI can be a great thing, but everybody wants to weaponize it. That's the only bad thing about it. AI can be great. Can AI be the Antichrist? No, because they have to heal people and walk like Jesus and everything.
Right. It has to be a human.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Battleship. You're right.
Yeah. And more people are losing their jobs because of AI, and it's sad. They don't have to pay humans anymore. Health insurance, workman's comp, all
Yeah,
that stuff.
totally.
Different age we're in, that's for sure.
I know that.
Mary says they have to claim to be the Messiah, do miracles, but cannot raise the dead. The
Right.
Antichrist cannot raise the dead.
Right.
Only Jesus could.
Right.
So we live in interesting times, that's for sure.
Very interesting.
It is. Oh, excuse me. Absolutely.
They're saying that they might not have, they'll just have somebody on a joystick with the AI war machine things.
Yeah, the drones and everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and they don't even have to be there. They can just send the drones to do
Right.
it.
Absolutely. So when you see images like the coffin and stuff, how do you know what that means? Is it just from experience?
Yeah, and you feel it. You feel what you need to know. You know, like but sometimes, like when you get aware, you'll have prophetic ones too. Like if there's like energy out in the universe, you'll pick up on world events.
Right.
And the reason why when you're first learning, you pick up on that is that's big energy. That's why you pick up on world events, plane crashes, accidents on trains and stuff like that, because that has more energy. That's why when you're learning, you pick up on all that stuff. Then you learn how to fine tune it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it sure does. It really does.
I don't understand what way high, John. It's been
John
bad.
asked about my sugar, and I was answering him while you were talking. It's just
Oh, okay. I saw that in the thing. It's like, okay. I'm glad that you're doing better.
we're trying. We'll figure it out. That's for sure. Any other questions or comments?
Yeah.
Or are there any specific messages for Chris?
You need to not second guess yourself and trust yourself more, and you're going to be all right. You have like a major change coming up within 6 weeks, it feels like. So look for something good like that to happen in 6 weeks.
Well, my dad died, Dowdell says. I dreamt I was in a casket and sitting with the dead family watching the funeral.
That's not a bad dream. It's just you were being an observer.
Interesting. Very interesting. Chris says, thank you.
You're welcome.
Nilda wants to know any messages for her. Hey, Scott.
You need to make a definitive choice. Go forward, and you'll be good. You also have a chance to buy some property the end of the year. So that's.
Oh, Dowdell said I read that wrong. She said my dad was alive, not dead. I dreamt I was in a casket. I read that backwards.
Okay, she was watching it as an observer. It wasn't a bad thing.
Yeah, I missed you too, Scott. Yeah, go ahead, fire some questions.
What do you want to know, Scott?
I keep having dreams of winning a jackpot on the slot machines.
Well, then go to the casino.
Right? Crafty wants to know if they got anything for them.
Keep on the trajectory you're on. You're on the right pathway, and you're going to start a new business. So look for that to happen.
Now, Barbara wants to know any messages for her.
You're going to have a lot more joy, and you have a really, really, really big surprise coming in October. It's a good surprise.
Scott wants to know, I just bought a boat. Was it a good decision?
Yeah, the boat's not in too bad of a shape. The motor's pretty good. You're going to have to change a gasket, and then it'll be okay.
Interesting.
And it goes faster than you think, so be careful.
He says, I'm starting a logistics company. Is it going to work out?
Totally. You got all the schematics that you need.
Scott says he'll change them now. The gaskets.
Yeah, and then it'll have the right suck. You know, engines have suck. Not bad suck. I mean, you know what I mean.
No, Scott says it's a 33 footer with a 454. That's a big motor.
Yeah.
Judy wants to know any messages for her.
You're going to hear from an old friend that you haven't heard from in 25 years, and you're going to do a 3-girl trip. 3 good girlfriends, and you will go on a trip.
And Crafty wants to know on the business, any specific ideas?
No, but you're going to get it in a dream.
Uh-oh, Mary wants to go up to the casino now. We stopped at a gas station once, and within like 7 or 8 spins, you went like 35 or $50. We're like, yeah, we're done.
Cool. There you go.
So that's for sure. Maria says, I've been wondering, well, the herpes I got in 2026 or 2016 is what it was supposed to say when she was forced. Can it be naturally healed?
No, it's there forever. It hangs out your tailbone. So,
yeah. Thanks. My mom's sister's going in August on a trip. See?
There you go.
Crafty says, I never remember my dreams. You got to write them down.
Yeah, and don't get up and pee because you pee your dream away.
That's right. So, did you already answer Crafty about any business ideas?
I don't. She'll get it in a dream. She'll get what she wants to do in a dream.
Right. Absolutely. But can it be healed? It's inside my mouth too, on her plate.
Well, we aren't doctors, hon.
So, yeah. Sorry, Maria.
I'm sorry you have that. That's icky.
Yeah.
Poor baby.
Absolutely. That's for sure. But Mom just turned 90. And we're still traveling. That's great.
That's awesome. You make memories while you can and love her while you have her.
That's right. Absolutely. That's the most important part of everything. That's for sure. Well, Kelly, how does everybody get a hold of you and find you?
Well, you can call me 850-481-1813, and that how it works. Or you can, yeah, that's the best way to do it. And I thank everybody for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed it. And John wants to know if, John, you're going to be good, and you're also going to buy, you're going to buy a little piece of property. Okay.
And try to stay cool, everybody, until the next show. Godspeed. Bye-bye.